98.
EV.
And here we go.
Oh, hey.
Here with my co-host Randy, and tonight we have Dextertan on here from East versus West, and we're gonna see what we can pull out of him.
Yeah. Thanks, Ryan and Randy. Good to be on. Been a fan, and I kind of agree that, as I was mentioning earlier, I'm in the 98%. So thank you for having me on.
Appreciate it, man. And like I was saying, we saw you on the Through the Fingers podcast, and those guys, just joined up with 98. And as I was listening to you talk, I was like, man, we have to have him on. Like, he totally is on our wavelength of how to grow the sport, So I really was looking forward to this one big time.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Love. So, yeah, come at me and any questions. Love to be transparent. Love to share some of my ideas and some of our future plans. Just have at it.
Yeah. I mean, I like what you were saying about how, like right now, we had a talk with Corey Miller, who runs the Aries, system for brackets and stuff like that, and the rating system. So according to his system right now, there's only like 4,000 to 5,000 active American male arm wrestlers in the United States and North America. So there's 500,000 female high school basketball players in comparison. So I'm like, we're like a drop in the bucket as far as a sport. So the only way, like, because arm wrestlers are the fans of the sport also, there's not a whole lot of non-arm wrestling fans yet. We have to find out how to bridge that and get non-arm wrestling fans to watch, or we need more arm wrestlers also, because we're the fans. Right now, the fastest way to grow people that watch and participate is getting new people into the sport and kids and things like that. So, like, just watching you like triggered me to have all these thoughts. Like, all right, now we can like brainstorm some bigger and better ideas.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're right. The goal, one of the biggest goal, I wouldn't say the only goal, because we don't want to alienate the existing
Right.
arm wrestling fans, right?
Yeah.
But it's also a balancing act that we also have to do something unorthodox, something different, something that they aren't accustomed to, but we have to do it in order to make the sport a little bit more easier to access, right? I mean, if you have one example, right? If the rules are so stringent and it's just like like a regular tournament, and fouls are called easily, then like
Yeah.
most matches are fouls,
Yeah.
and it's not great for. So the one easiest way that we found to make something more digestible, I would say, it's to make it more entertaining,
Yeah.
right? If they don't, because ultimately sports is entertainment for the
Yeah.
98% of people who aren't like high level
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
It's entertaining. We want to go up there. We want to see how they perform, what techniques was used, and what comeback stories. Now, obviously, a little bit of like trash talking also adds
Yeah.
some of the flavor, but
Right.
ultimately, it's, if you look at it from a whole, from a 30,000 feet view, it's an entertainment.
Yeah.
Now, how do we make it more entertaining? Well, first and foremost, don't have blackouts.
Right. Yeah.
Don't have blackouts, but but you just need to employ things where it's a balance, where the casual guys who, imagine bringing your neighbor who has never seen an arm wrestling event before. You
Yeah.
drag them and get their opinion,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And that's how that's what's critical, right? When you go, that's kind of like a litmus test. If you bring them and they're like, it's okay, been there, done that, I'm
Yeah.
done, then you know that you kind of fail as an entertainer,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
If they go home and starts googling on like, hey, what is top rule? What is the commentator saying? That's when you know you
Yeah.
got them. So, but then again, you don't want to make it so the rules to be so open to the
Right.
point where they could, athletes are absolutely, you know, doing blatant fouls and still
Yeah.
getting
Yeah.
it, like, they are 12 inches off the elbow pads. I'm just being
Yeah. Yeah.
exaggerating. So it's definitely a balancing act, trying to appease. There are for sure some athletes, sorry, some fans who are kind of acting like gatekeepers to a certain
Oh yeah.
degree. Like they
Oh yeah.
don't want changes, they don't want
Yeah.
this, they don't want
We
that.
get that a lot, being like 98%. Like there's like that old guard of people that are like, no, like what you're doing is not good for the sport. And I'm like,
Correct,
yeah.
correct. And
Yeah.
at some point I also get attacked too because like, hey, I don't know why Dexter is changing things or Robert's changing things, but we
Yeah.
try to not change too much, and it'll be something small, but
Yeah.
is and everything is to make the sport more entertaining and at a
Yeah.
faster pace. And what we felt is it's a little bit too slow right now. Well, it was too slow, and then we're slowly trying to increase the pace,
Yeah.
setup, increasing the speed of setup, those
Yeah.
kind of things. But yeah,
I
so
mean, when it's real strict, like you were saying, like sometimes it's hard for us as an arm wrestler to watch. So imagine someone who has no idea what's going on is like, why do they keep stopping it? You know.
correct, correct,
Um,
correct.
but yeah, there's a lot of little things that I've noticed too. Like I've been to a few tournaments where there was no music and just someone like calling out
Talking.
names, and it felt like I was in like a bingo hall. And then you know what I mean? And I'm like,
Yeah, yeah,
just
yeah,
just adding a little bit of music in the background would have changed the entire event. And I don't know how people aren't thinking of these things, like just small details, you know?
yeah, yeah. And that's for sure. I mean, the one thing that we kind of fail, and it's actually a big part of my fault, right? I had this whole vision
Mhm.
where we would have uh so in Chicago. I don't think I've actually mentioned this on any podcast or anywhere, so you guys will be the first.
Oh,
Um, in Chicago, we had a pre-match event that started an hour before the main event,
oh wow.
and the whole idea was we were to have a camera, like a roaming camera, that followed uh, a host, right? And our host would go around just talking to athletes who were about to compete, right? Going some behind the scenes. Oh, you know what? Say Wallace Dilly. He's one of the first to go up there, and so he's warming up. So you get some behind the scenes, and Levon just walked in the room. That kind of like behind the scenes,
Yeah,
and also talking about, hey, Devin, how are you feeling right now? Are you all ready? Are you all pumped up? It's like, yeah, I just got to get my workout. So that was the
yeah,
whole idea, right? And that was just one component, but we had more components like that,
yeah.
but that was perhaps too ambitious for the current contracting team. So
Yeah,
just
yeah,
FYI, we don't do a lot of these in-house,
yeah.
right? We literally just hire a team and we tell
Gotcha.
them what needs to be done.
Yeah,
And if they can't do it, technically is somewhat my fault because I hired the wrong team, but
yeah,
that's what it was, right?
yeah,
But anyway, so that was the whole point. And then because I wanted so many things, and they said, yeah, 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 no problem. And they kind of messed up because one of their transmitter unit on the camera did not work, and so it
oh,
was crashing everything else, which is why we started late.
oh man, yeah,
Which is why we started
yeah.
late.
We won't
Unfortunately,
tell anyone.
no, but I'm just being transparent,
Yeah,
and that's why we
yeah,
started late.
right.
Uh, I wish that contracting team just says no, we couldn't do it. Then
Yeah, yeah,
that's the end of sorry. Okay, well then let's move on, whatever,
right.
right? But they said yes, and then by the time I told them, okay, let's just scrap it and let's just get it going, that also took a while.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
mean, the point being was I wanted like a lot more content, a lot more things, and that roaming camera would always be on YouTube, our YouTube channel, live,
Yeah.
concurrent with the main event.
Yeah. That's
So they would
awesome.
never see the matches, but they could
Right.
see in the past it was just a camera showing the audience reaction,
Yeah.
right? But this time it'll be a host who's actually commentating a little bit, and
Yeah.
he's going into the green room. They're going into the practice and warm up area, talking to fans out in the
Yeah.
hall. That sort of content
Right.
concurrent with our pay per view. It helps our pay per view sales, but it also gives extra entertainment content for people to watch.
And I kind of feel like that's the future of the sport is production value. The more production you have, like that extra content, that gives us as a consumer like a connection to the pullers. Because when I see
Right.
someone that I don't know anything about and I don't know them, I don't care that much about that match. But when I know the two guys and I have a little connection to their background and or I'm a big fan of them and I know their story, I'm more vested in that match.
Oh, correct,
You
correct.
know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely, and
Yeah,
that's why, about maybe since I kind of took over and I'm slowly shaping things a little bit, we start coming. We actually have a lot of content, but we are falling behind on editors.
yeah,
But we have a lot of content that we shot that we sat down with athletes and just, hey, you know what? Let's not talk too much about arm wrestling, but just
yeah,
tell me, what do you do for work? Right? Tell me, what do you do for work? Oh,
yeah,
I'm a surgeon. Like, dude, you're a
yeah,
surgeon and you're arm wrestling? Aren't
right.
you worried? Right? It's like,
Yeah,
so now when he pulls, you be looking, it's like, oh man, I hope he doesn't get an injury.
yeah. All right.
Else
I hope
somebody
I'm
might
not as
die on the
patient.
table.
Yeah, I hope I'm not as patient a week after a match.
Right, right. Exactly. So those are the things that I think would really help. I think we did one not too long ago, and it was along the lines of uh hey, what is your three things we don't know about you, right?
Yeah,
And then the next one was like, what's your favorite food? Those kind of things that we're just adding a little bit. I'm
I love
introducing
that.
more. At some point, we want to do like a mini documentary. Maybe it's
Yeah,
15 minutes long, but we'll spend a little bit more time with them in their own home and everything. But obviously, we haven't done it yet because due to budgetary reasons.
yeah.
It's quite costly to fly people to
Oh yeah,
get stuff done. We did one with Levon and a little bit of Irakli, but that wasn't really a documentary. It's more like a sit down interview in his
yeah.
home. But at least it gave some level of clarity of
Hmm.
that's where he grew up. That's his home. That's where that's his cars. So Levon probably doesn't really need a lot of that, but it still doesn't hurt because that video can also be used to get more non-arm wrestling fans in.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Like I like when these like funny videos or funny interviews go viral because it's like I mean, like I'm on TikTok all the time, and when there's something funny that goes viral, like everybody sees it. Like if we could get a lot more content like that for arm wrestling that would just shoot viral, I mean that's how we get a lot of eyes on it.
yeah, yeah, I don't disagree, and that's why only lately I start creating my own YouTube channel,
Yeah,
uh, s- independent of the company official one that I have access to, is that I need to separate it a little bit. I didn't want the main channel to be uh too meme style, like meme style,
yeah,
too casual. So at least if I have to do something casual and fun and something that is off the books, I can
yeah,
do it on my personal channel for that very reason.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind
So
of how I got into this whole thing. I made a funny video. You know how everybody was into like vectors and rubber bands and stuff.
uh-huh.
So I made like just a crazy video with rubber bands, and Devin and Levon shared it, and it went super viral. And then overnight, we started the 98 podcast, and people were recognizing me from that stupid video. And I was like, that's what we need to be doing, like content,
Yeah.
like just weird content.
There's another guy. He's also a YouTuber, Henry Nering,
Yep.
Mm,
that guy,
mhm.
Oh yeah.
right? That guy.
Oh
Yeah,
He
yeah.
also got viral because he was on the background, just
Oh, I
like
remember
yeah,
watching
yeah,
that live, and I was like, "Look at this dude."
Yeah.
Here's a quick clip of one of my videos.
Oh.
I'm American bad.
Just a band from every direction. Funny part about it is like some of the Russian guys, they don't have like they don't realize that I'm being sarcastic, and they're like, "That's not gonna work." You know, like they're messaging me, saying it's not gonna work, and like they take it like I'm serious, and I'm like, "Yeah, I know. I mean, it's just."
That's pretty funny.
When you get
Yeah,
to know
I,
Ryan more, he's a big jokester. We're always having fun at events, and
dude, I love that. I
he's
love that.
he's
I mean,
he's good to be
that's
around.
how. I mean, look at some of the influencers. They're usually
Yeah,
very entertaining,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
usually in a comedic way.
yep,
So I don't think there's anything wrong to be
yeah.
comedic like
Like,
that.
you know,
The only
were
thing
you
though, if
around
we
when
have that
Paul
video,
Italia was around?
no, I wasn't around with Paul Italia.
So we didn't get along in the beginning, and he said something to Travis. He was like, "I'm never going to a '98 tournament." So I made a cardboard cutout of him, and then he was at every tournament. And he did not like that, but he ended up challenging me to a match, and we had a match, and then we became friends. So
That's usually how
it
it is.
was like a cool story, you know, like leading up to our match.
Yeah,
But just a
yeah.
simple thing like that with the cardboard cutout, like everyone thought it was hilarious that he was at every tournament after saying that he wouldn't be at any of our tournaments.
Yeah, and as I was saying, if we had that rubber band kind of video on the official EVW channel,
With one of the pros doing it. Oh,
the East, the problem is the East will think that is the new
yeah.
golden standard, and we'll
Yeah.
get
Oh,
in
they'd
trouble
all
for
start
that.
doing they'd all, yeah. They'd all start
So
doing it.
I have to be really careful of what I put out there to make sure
Yeah.
that it's not, because I think it's really honestly a difference in cultures,
Yeah.
and it's not who's right or wrong. It's just different.
Yep.
It's just
Right.
literally different, right? And so it's kind of, I wish, and I think this is what I'm going to start pushing. I'm going to encourage all athletes, s- learn how to speak English. It's not, I'm not trying to be arrogant and saying, oh, English is a superior language or anything. No, 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 no. It's not that.
Yeah.
It's just so happen that most of the revenue comes from English speaking countries for
Yeah.
now. And if they want to grow their channel,
Yeah.
grow it in America,
Yeah.
growing in North
A lot
America.
of these athletes don't even promote themselves that well.
Yeah,
Man.
and I've been trying to do that. So I've had conversations with several of our athletes, and I tell them, look, buddy, right, you gotta put yourself out there. I
Yeah.
know you're a great puller, but if nobody knows how well you do and you don't get credit for things that you actually been doing, doesn't
Yeah.
really matter very much, unfortunately.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with some of the athletes from from the other countries, maybe they don't speak as much English. I've met some of them in person at various events, and they're such cool guys, and I've gotten along with all of them, and it's a big community and family. And I think, like you said, if they speak a little bit more English, promote themselves a little bit, I think people are really going to like them and get more
Yeah.
invested in them.
oh, absolutely.
Because I've met poolers from Bulgaria, Brazil, um, all over the world, and it's so cool to bring everyone together, and it's a family. But I think we can push that a little bit further with some of the promotion and some of the other things you're talking about.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I think it's missed opportunity if they don't speak. And but to be frank though, I know a lot of them who don't speak English. And in front of us, like in Arlington, right? I spent some time with some of these athletes, like say Yoshi, right? He doesn't speak very much English, or if any English, really. And in front of us, he's always cordial, always very quiet because he doesn't speak English,
Hmm.
right? But you can see, and then so what happened? There was a Singaporean guy who spoke English, Gregory, who I got to know a little bit better during the event. He became his translators, and we hung out. We went to eat. We grabbed dinner and everything. He Yoshi opened up, and he's super fun. He's super
Oh,
fun, super chill.
yeah.
Just joking around. But
Yeah.
it was,
Everybody needs to see that.
yeah,
Yeah.
and but the problem is if it wasn't because of his or the translator Gregory around, we would
Yeah.
have never known that Kanai is actually such a cool character.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
wish more and more would pick up a more common language, which is right now it's English, and then we will all have a great time. The
Is-
fan grow
is-
exponentially.
For them to pick up English like later in life, like coming from another country, like it would be difficult for us to pick up, a language. Is it as difficult for them to pick up English as it is for us to pick up foreign languages?
Probably, probably.
Yeah.
But then I would just suggest put on your headphones, right?
Yeah.
While you're working out 20 hours a day anyway, listen to
Yeah.
something,
Okay,
right?
Rosetta Stone or something.
Correct. I mean, there's
Duolingo.
a lot of those going on.
Yeah.
So, and I know it's not the easiest, but if you're willing to work hard on, with weights and everything,
Yeah.
you gotta you can't multitask a little bit, in my opinion, at least.
Yeah.
So
There's a lot of
yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say there's a lot of athletes that have actually improved their English. Like Levon
sure.
speaks very good. Hermes speaks very well. Yeah, there's a lot of guys that
Yeah,
Devin.
even if it's not perfect, like you can have a perfectly normal conversation with them. You know what I mean?
correct.
Yeah.
I mean, so actually, confidentially, I don't know if it's confidential, but Irakli was like sitting right next to me in that Levon lunch at the Georgian restaurant in Chicago, and so Irakli was like speaking to me in great English. But I says,
Wow.
"Hey, why don't you speak English in front of the camera?" It's like, "No, I'm not ready yet."
He doesn't feel confident.
Yeah, but what
Yeah.
I'm saying is, they also recognize that English is quite vital to grow their fan base, and so I'm glad some of them are actually doing it. But if
That's
all
good.
of them can pick that up, I think it'd be amazing for the sport.
Put it in the contracts. Must learn English. You know what's funny is you didn't go to Hot 13, did you? King
Hot
of the
13
Table
in Atlantic
13?
City.
Yeah, were you there?
Yeah.
Dude, so
Didn't see you. I was there.
after the whole Engen thing, I made this Engen mask. And Devin came, I was wearing it at King of the Table, and I'm like, dude, I'm gonna get kicked out. But Engen wasn't there, obviously. So Devin saw it and he's like, Ryan, let me buy that off you. And I was like, dude, just take it. So now Devin has my Engen mask.
Yeah, I remember he was walking. I actually went up on stage as well for like a minute.
Oh yeah, you did. I saw you. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember now.
Yeah, I was there.
I was like running all around, so I wasn't sure if you were there or not. But I
Yeah,
saw
because you were wearing
Baxter.
that mask, running around, posing
Yeah.
as Indian.
The front desk that they had to get in. I sat there for a while, and people were like trying to pay me to get in, and I had the Engen mask on the whole time. And Don came up to me and he's like, "You're crazy." And he was like, "Now get off the table." It was so funny. But stuff like that to me is fun. Like little things like that, like Devin, like that little story of Devin wanting it. Now I keep hearing stories like he put it on at a dinner, or he used it for like silly little things. Now
He might have brought it to Georgia.
yeah, he
Oh
has it
my
on him all
goodness.
the time. Like
Yeah,
because
I think
I'll
he brought it
text him and be like, "Hey, you promised me a video with the mask," and he was like, with the stuff with Eng, and he's like, "Not yet, buddy, not yet." It's like he doesn't want to cause too much trouble yet,
Oh, that's pretty funny.
So Dexter, I had a question for you.
Yeah, hit me.
So I believe you said you own some video game stores or a franchise or something.
Yeah, I own some tabletop gaming stores
Oh, okay, cool.
locally. So back when I was in college, I started playing a game called Magic the Gathering.
Yep.
Okay. And I played it and I traveled the world to play for it. So I was ranked
Wow.
pretty high.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
But obviously, when I graduated, reality sets in. And no, I'm not working anywhere, but my day job, right? I'm not playing around. I can spend all my weekends, and I was married by then, right? So then, just like everybody else, I'm sure, like you guys, you try to convert some of your hobbies into an actual revenue generating source, right? So
Yeah,
that's what I did, and because I knew the industry pretty well, so I opened up my own store.
that's cool.
Uh, and then we
Awesome.
grew and grew and bought out the franchise. I was a franchisee and ended up buying out the
Yeah,
franchisor.
Oh,
nice.
okay.
So that's what I did. But
So do you play any? I know you're busy now, but do you play any video games or any more tabletop stuff currently, or are you just kind of you're strapped for time?
um, uh,
Just arm wrestling ones.
once in a while, I uh, I do enjoy watch. I actually don't play very much, but I watch a lot.
Okay.
I watch a lot or I listen a lot
Hmm.
on things, so like right now when I go and start, working on my pronation or anything, I will turn on a video and whatever, it could be matches, it could be Netflix, it could be watching some of the pro level compete in the other sports too. So there's that, but not too much playing to be honest.
Yeah.
It's challenging once in a while. I mean, yeah, once in a while. But I enjoy FIFA.
Yeah.
There's that. That's
I
what I grew up playing.
I really got into StarCraft 2 for about a decade.
Oh, great.
Played a lot of. I don't know if you've ever played it before.
Yeah.
Um, but I used to watch the tournaments, that were on early in the morning, broadcasted from Korea.
Oh, yeah, GSL.
Oh yeah, love GSL.
I was a GSL.
Oh really?
Yeah, so I used to play back in college. Again, this was in my senior year. I don't know why. And again, I was doing whatever I did to have a real good time. And StarCraft 2 came out, Wings of Liberty.
Yep.
I played to be pretty decently high rank. So I was at the highest rank player. I competed in Collegiate Star League, C Star.
Oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, so I played in the C Star League. I was the team captain for my university. Played against team from the West Coast, East Coast. I actually I charge tuition by coaching people how to play the game.
Oh man.
That's awesome.
So that's why I understand the concept of organizing tournaments
Yeah,
from that capacity as well. And then when I start watching videos like, so the other game I play is also Dota 2.
Yep.
Right. So I actually traveled for like StarCraft, I traveled to BlizzCon, and for Dota, I was in Seattle last year for the international. So what I gather is I see how they. So recently it was the esports World Cup, right? So I see how they do their production, and I try to incorporate that into arm wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that I actually requested for in Chicago was like, hey, I want laser lights, but
Yeah.
the venue. So our contractor brought all the equipment, but the venue says no to the fog machine. So without the
oh
fog
yeah,
machine, the laser lights won't do very
doesn't
well.
look as cool, right?
Yeah.
Correct. So it's just one of those. So I actually see how they operate and what equipment they use, and
Yeah,
so I bring what I watch from the other sports and how
yeah,
their production level, and try to elevate it a little bit.
yeah,
So
yeah,
just so you know,
yeah.
I'm also a big
We've been shut
competitive
down
guy.
for using the sparklers, the cold sparklers.
Oh
They're
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
they're like no, 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 and I'm like, listen, it's not going to burn the place down, but
Yeah.
they
Oh
get nervous.
yeah. So there's a lot of those, and but yeah, so that's kind of my background, and I'm glad you mentioned something that I'm very proficient with. I
Oh,
don't play very much anymore, but I think I can still hold myself to a master level kind of event.
so you
This
were a
is
GM at one point?
So Wings of Liberty had no
Oh,
GM level,
that's right. It only had masters. Yeah.
correct? And so I was
It's been a
masters.
while.
Yeah.
and
So
I got
I'm showing my age here, but the last video game I was super into was Ultima Online.
is it an
That's an
old
old one.
RPG game?
Yeah,
Yeah.
way back.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
I go back to the DOS era of PC gaming.
Doom.
Oh yeah. All that. Yeah, Doom, Ultima,
Ultima was taken
all
over
those
by
games.
WoW, World of Warcraft,
I played
basically.
RuneScape when I
Yeah,
was
oh
younger.
yeah. I know RuneScape. Yep.
Yeah, RuneScape. I did play WoW a little bit, but I hate grindy games.
Yeah.
That's a grinder.
I hate grinding games.
Well, I'm
Going
glad I
from-
asked you about video games because we have something in common there. Because I still love StarCraft. I think it's one of the best games
Add me
ever
on
made.
VNet. Maybe
Oh
maybe you
no,
can school me a little bit.
Oh,
I got this close to Masters. I never quite got in though. So Diamond,
Oh yeah, yeah.
you would probably take care of me.
Yeah, you can we- we'll see if I can find time to do it.
Yeah,
Like,
you're a busy guy.
we'll do it on the next episode.
Do
make
it
it
live.
live stream
Yeah,
on
make
Twitch.
it live. That'd be hilarious.
Oh man, yeah. Because some of my buddies and I, we are all, it's been more than 10 years since we left college now, and it feels like I get so busy. So back in Asia, this is how we pass time. We will all go out middle of the night. It could be up to like 2 a.m. just going to like a cafe, just sitting down, watching soccer or something on some sports channel, and
Yeah.
just having some appetizers and drinks. Right.
That's
That's
awesome.
how we kind of hang out.
Yeah.
But from where I'm at right now, that it's atypical. So how I actually kind of hang out with friends, other than Robert Baxter, which by the way, he's pretty cool too, right? But
Yeah.
some of my like college buddies, we still hang out. It's actually through Discord and games sometimes.
Yeah.
So like once a week, we'll on a weekend night when all the kids are in bed, like 9:30 p.m. That's when we all get on. We'll be on Discord. We catch up, and
Yeah.
sometimes we play a game or two. That's kind of how.
That's
Yeah.
what I
So-
do too currently.
The funny thing is, originally 98%. I downloaded Zoom and I just started doing a Zoom link, and I would send it out on Facebook for anyone to join, any arm wrestler. And it got to a point where we'd have like 20 arm wrestlers on just talking across the whole country or even world, like people from Australia. And we would just be talking about arm wrestling. And we did that for like a whole year. And then I was like, man, why don't we go live with this? So then we
Yeah.
started going live with it. And then we started the 98 Friday Night Live. It's not really like a podcast. It's just an open forum for any arm wrestlers to come on and talk. And then we decided to do something more intimate like this, where we can get to know the people.
Sure.
But FTG Friday, we haven't missed a Friday in 3 years. We're on every Friday night at 8:30, and anybody can come on and just talk arm wrestling with us. So that made us grow even bigger, because people would go, "Oh, those 98 guys," and and sometimes we're not talking about arm wrestling. It gets crazy on there sometimes.
Sure.
But it's fun, like there's some episodes I've had to delete because I'm like, we can't put that on YouTube.
But
But,
yeah,
it's
I fully support the whole notion of because here's what it is, right? I've been to many different kind of groups, right? I've been to events where some of my events can go up to 5,000-6,000 people. This is my personal event.
wow.
And it's not arm wrestling related, right?
Right.
And then I personally attended, conventions like BlizzCon, right? The international for Dota 2 for Valve. And those are like in the tens of thousands, right?
Wow.
I mean, WWE had, I think their record was 90,000 people. And here, we are in the low thousands. So what I'm saying is our sport, like when I say our, I don't want to be saying that we own it, but like collectively, arm wrestling is still pretty small.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah,
It's
big time.
so small. It's so small
Yeah.
that we feel very united, and for the most part, right? Everybody's super nice. I've
Yeah.
still yet, I've met a few obnoxious arm wrestlers, to be honest,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And titled guys, but whatnot. But for the most part, most people are really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you think this could be a reason why there are some people who are afraid that if it becomes mainstream, that this whole, small, tight-knit community feel might be lost when it becomes big?
Oh yeah, I'm sure there's guys that feel that way. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are like the gatekeeper guys.
Correct. So from your perspective, what will you do about this?
It's hard, like we try so many different things like 98 because we're not held to the same standard as most promotions. we can do whatever we want. Like nobody's gonna, ruin my arm wrestling career because I don't really have one. You know what I mean? So I'm like,
Sure.
there's some things I can get away with that some of the other guys can't really say because it could affect where they could be able to compete and things like that.
Sure.
So we just speak the truth all the time. Like if there's something that we have questions about, we just say it. And we get a lot of hate for that. But I would rather be transparent like that than to tiptoe around on things. Like, things don't get fixed if you ignore them and brush them under the carpet. Like, and the community likes transparency for the most part. They want to know what's going on.
I think
But yeah, well, I don't know how you transition that. Like, I think there's some guys that are just going to be left behind.
yeah.
Like if they don't get on board with the evolution of the sport, they're going to get phased out. I think, kind of.
Yeah.
I mean,
think
not that that's a good thing, and I don't want that, but like anything else, you have to kind of adapt to the newer generations coming, like the super match stuff. It's going crazy right now. There's a super match event in everyone's garage across the whole country, like every week. Where
That's right.
before
Yeah.
it was more tournament based. So things are kind of changing, and you got to kind of keep up, or you're going to get left in the dust. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Ryan brings up a good point is, all sports, kind of go through changes over time. Things adapt a certain way. I think that, there might be some guys that throw in the towel and say, I don't really support arm wrestling anymore. They sold out, or it's too mainstream. But, you're going to miss the ride for, what we hope to be a household event for people, whether it's on a streaming platform like Netflix, Hulu, you name it, where, we get to that point where,
Yeah.
like these athletes are going to be, household names to a point.
Well, best case scenario too is as we grow and you can afford to pay these guys as athletes, maybe they're like some of the guys that are the old school thinking will start to think a little differently. Like, oh, this opened up a whole bunch of opportunities for arm wrestlers to make a little bit of money doing this and make it worth their time to train and grind to stay at that level.
Full time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think most athletes aren't really gatekeeping this very much. Uh, there are maybe only a handful that might
Yeah.
disagree on some of the changes, but for
Yeah.
the most part, it's some of the fans that I'm just trying to navigate and see how I can. I won't necessarily be able to appease them, but at the
Yeah.
same time, they at least need to understand from where I'm coming from
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
how we are trying to push it to the
I really
non-arm
liked when you
wrestling.
were talking about having like the announcers explain a little more about what's going on rather than just the technical side that we understand, but the fans need to hear like why was that called? Why did this stop? Why, explain it a little. I really liked when you were going down that path in the conversation.
So Randy, since if you're still watching it, so it was I think the EWC
Mm.
25 at Riyadh for StarCraft just
Mhm.
happened, and one of the two commentators, and one of the commentator was asking questions like, "Hey, what do you think of this? Do you think he did this because of this?" And I like his way of asking
Yeah.
because I'm sure there are a lot of fans who are sitting at home was also probably asking the same question too, right?
Right. And then it makes them think like,
Correct. Like
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
like someone like Neil, he probably has a lot of the answers. So
Yep.
if you know uh somebody at one of the other commentators, depending on who he's partnered with at that time, ask him that question, that would be pretty helpful too. So
Yeah.
slowly, I'm not a commentator, and I know it's a very challenging thing to be
Yeah.
having so much energy and thinking on the fly how you explain something. It's not the easiest. So kudos to all the commentators. So
Yeah.
Not very easy for me to tell them what I want, but
Yeah.
you know, so
Yeah, there's technical sides to the arm wrestling sport that is can maybe seem a little daunting at first. I mean, you're talking about millimeters of movement and millimeters of elbow positioning and all these little things that are going on. And I could relate that directly back to, a game like StarCraft where a guy is pulling SCVs out of gas to go do something else to proxy a bit, like all these little technical things, and you might not understand like why is this guy doing this. So having that conversation between the color commentator and the play-by-play guy, I think that is
Yeah.
just going to keep the flow going, and it'll be much more entertaining.
oh, absolutely, absolutely. It will be helpful to bring in the new people,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's even more helpful for the new people to stay in.
yeah, yep,
Yeah. One thing we did that's been pretty interesting because I'm like a data guy, so like I want data on everything so that I can like
Sure.
figure
Yeah.
everything out. So we opened up a 98 page in every state, like 98 Arizona, 98 New Hampshire. And the reason we did that is for promoters. So if I like East versus West, you throw an event, you make a flyer, and you throw it in arm wrestling discussion that has 30,000 guys in there. You don't know who's seeing that or where they're from or anything. But if you're throwing an event in New Hampshire and you post your flyer in New Hampshire and Vermont and Massachusetts and Maine, chances are the people in those groups live there, and those are the guys that are most likely to go to your event because they're local. So you can hit that demographic of people much easier. And then the data that's giving us back is it's showing us which states are slow and need more arm wrestling, which states have more active members. And we're getting all this data. And then we can be like, hey, there's not a whole lot of arm wrestlers in Wisconsin. Maybe we need to get over there and help them grow their sport and get more people to come to practice. And like that's kind of the stuff I was trying to do with that. And it's actually been super helpful because every group is growing at a different pace, and we start to see like where the busier areas of the United States are.
Well, I guess I have to talk to you a little bit more to get that data to tell us where we should have our next event then.
Yeah. I mean,
Well,
to me, what the data is telling me is like, okay, if I throw an event here, like I don't know how much you know about our tournaments, but we do Winter Blast. It's the biggest tournament in the United States right now. We had 2 years ago we had 585 entries, and this year we hit 500. So we're still the biggest tournament in one day for the United States. So,
Wow, that's really big.
yeah,
but here, like we're in Philadelphia, so we're 2 hours from New York, from Harrisburg, where like Paul Lynn and those guys are, and Baltimore. So all of them will come to our tournament. But if I throw a tournament in Baltimore, we lose New York. If I throw one in New York, we lose Baltimore. So like we're right in the middle of like a really good
yeah.
spot for Winter Blast to be that big.
So
So
when's your next event?
September 13th in New Jersey.
New Jersey State Championships.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
But
Well,
Winter Blast we always have in March.
March.
Yeah.
So you're saying that we should have an EVW event around the same time, if not the same weekend as Winter Blast.
Yeah.
You're gonna make me smile so big, man.
Yeah.
I mean, we live in a fantastic spot for arm wrestling. We're really lucky. Philadelphia being so close to New York, New Jersey, Delaware. We're even close to Maryland.
Yeah.
I mean, we have such a great little hub here in the Northeast. It's incredible all the way up to Maine. I mean, we had people come from Florida, upstate New York, Maryland.
Africa. We had to write a whole like invitational letter for some guys to come from Africa to Winter Blast. Like,
Whoa.
It's pretty cool.
We get people fly from all over, and guys will drive a long distance even to this tournament we just had this weekend. We had people from all over the place, and I've been going around talking to everyone, asking them, "Hey, where are you from? Is this your first time?" And I came up to Ryan. I was like, "We got people from 7-8 hours away that drove here, and they're first timers, or they're novice, they're amateur." So like we kind of, like you said, getting the data, we're kind of seeing, who's there. And I was stunned about how many first timers we had, and I was reporting back to Ryan like, "There's a lot of first timers here already."
Well, the 98 concept makes the guys that are not pros feel more comfortable coming out to our events because they know that we're treating everyone the same. Like we're not just like all the pros are always like, you need to make us go first. And I'm like, go to a different tournament. That's not our concept. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But we change it up sometimes, but like the whole concept though is to shine a light on the other 98% instead of just the 2%, because the 2% have plenty of opportunities, East versus West, all these other promotions, where the other 98% of us that are trying to get there, like we're just trying to shine a light on those guys that are grinding. Like we could almost be like a farm league for one of the major leagues, like
Right.
stuff like that. Like that's kind of how we designed 98 to be, where we're just trying to like find those next level guys that are going to shoot up to the top. And
Yep.
like a lot of guys do these super matches, and then where does it go from there? Like in the
Right.
smaller leagues, I mean, like or even like our level down here. So we're trying to create a ladder where like, okay, you have a super match at one of our tournaments. Then we started a thing called table trauma, where it's a more intimate. Like we have 3 or 4 super matches at a location, and they come and we interview them sitting on a couch, and then they have the match, and it's like very well done as a production where we kind of get to know the pullers before they pull, and then an after, post interview stuff like that. Then if they do well there, then they can get onto the main card at Winter Blast, which is a much bigger card. So we're trying to create like a ladder, so there's a like a path up, rather than you do a super match and then what, you get another one maybe, or like they don't go anywhere, you just keep having super matches. We're trying to like create something with what we're doing, but we're still in the beginning stages, so we're working on it.
No, I think that's good. For people like me, I've always been asked, "Hey, so are you gonna be training to compete?" I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't know, man. I don't know if I have the time, but I don't know if I have the genes for it either. But at the same
true.
time, it's still fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
At
it's
some
super
point
fun.
when I'm ready, maybe in 5 years, I don't know.
Yeah,
I might still
right.
want to just go test myself,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Test myself. So
The
Oh,
story you told about how you hurt your wrist like early, like real, like what your like one of your first times, that same exact thing happened to me, and then I couldn't use my wrist for like 3 months, and I was like, what the hell? But it was so fun. Like I just came back to it after I felt better and came back to it. And but I was like, man, that first time, like someone tweaked my wrist, and I was like, oh, geez.
happened to me too.
yeah, it was so funny because we were traveling back from Istanbul, right? And so we had like couple, like I think we had like 2 layovers or something.
Yeah,
And I had my hand carry on with me, right? And we had to carry, I think we had to carry the world title box as well. So it was kind of an awkward thing. I was carrying 2 things, but
yeah.
I remember clearly that I could not bend my wrist. So I was just lifting everything and walking like down the stairs, just all awkward. And then Robert had to go help me put my hand carry on, you know,
Yeah,
on top of the cabin. It's such a
that's
weird
so
thing, such a
funny.
weird. Yeah, I was just
Yeah.
weird walking around. But
I mean, even just driving home after like a real tough practice, and you're like a T-Rex, like, like, oh, well,
oh,
but it makes it fun because then, it gets less and less the more you do it, and it starts
well,
to not
the
hurt as
way that I'm envisioning in my head is that every time I feel pain, the muscle fibers are reattaching stronger.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
That's what
so
I
so,
like. Yeah, you trick
so that's how
yourself
I'm
to think
envisioning.
that
It's like,
way.
okay, pain means I'm getting
Yeah,
stronger. If I'm
yeah,
not
yeah,
feeling pain, it's not good enough, right?
yeah. You're ripping them apart, and they're healing, and they're going to come back stronger. And
Yeah. So I'm
yeah,
like, oh, pain. Yeah, let's
yeah. I
do it.
think the
Let's
same thing.
go.
When really, it probably you're just messing yourself up for the future.
There are certain things like my right elbow is kind of it's been hurting for a while because
Yeah,
I did something really dumb. I was back in Asia and I was just like goofing around off with my brother. My
yeah.
brother is an arm wrestling fan. He's been watching since like 2016, I think, but he
Nice.
has never arm wrestled before, like real
Oh
arm
wow.
wrestle. Maybe at like restaurants or bars or something, but never like actual wrestle. So I was just like, and but he's like a former MMA guy, okay, and he's a mastered scuba diver, okay. So at least his build is really good. Whereas on the contrast, I'm the office dirt nerd, right? So I've never really did very much other than goofing around in front of like StarCraft or whatever, right? So then we were on the kitchen countertop on a marble, granite countertop,
Oh
right? Put our hands together, and his raw power is way stronger than mine. But because I knew what I was doing a little bit, I was
yeah,
toying with him. So I did things like back pressure, and he had no
yeah,
like, whoa, 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 what's happening? What's happening? Like
yeah.
he's getting dragged off. When I pronated him, his wrist broke really quickly, and then he lost strength. And then I played another ones. Like the one that really got me was when I was showing him how to do something like like the shoulder press.
Oh yeah.
Then I went into the King's move, obviously,
Uh-oh.
right?
Oh
Just to mess with him. And then he
yeah.
and then he went on the shoulder press that I just taught him. That's when my elbow was just right on the granite countertop. And
Oh
like, oh,
man.
it's pushing it. And I was like, I was under the table
Oh,
by then. And so since then it hurt.
I
Ugh.
bet. I
Again, me
bet.
goofing around a little bit.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's all fun. It's all fun.
It's funny,
It's all
like that's when you get hurt the most when you're just playing around. Like
Yeah.
and I'm not
that's
an
funny.
expert either. So
Yeah, yeah,
I'm not protecting myself as I should.
yeah.
But it's all fun.
I mean, I once I realized like I'm probably never gonna be a top level anything in arm wrestling. I still enjoy it and I'll still
Yeah,
jump in
totally
sometimes, but
fine.
because I loved it so much, I'm like, let, let's just start throwing tournaments for like our idea about the 98%. And it just blew up really quick. And we've just been going ever since.
So like for my other business where it's a chain of like tabletop games like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh and Magic the
Yeah,
Gathering or whatever, right? What we found is we have events every evening, every day we have an event.
yeah,
And what that is, what you guys are essentially creating, it's increasing their loyalty and their passion for the sport, right? Because
yeah,
there's only so much you can do in the weight room and so much you can do at practice
yeah,
before it starts getting stale. They still want to have like a goal. It's like, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to practice real hard for March. And they all
yeah,
feel,
yeah,
and it gives them a goal and they start practicing up. The more they get into it, the
yeah.
more they love the sport. So what you guys are doing is absolutely, I think, critical for the growth of the sport.
Thanks.
Yeah, we
We're trying. I
appreciate
mean,
that, man. It's a
we're
lot of
trying.
fun.
We're trying to do
Yeah.
some different. Like we recently started some talks with the Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts of America,
Okay.
so that if one of them attends an arm wrestling tournament, it could count towards their
A badge.
strength badge. Yeah. So we're trying to like work that angle with them right now, and having them come to tournaments, set up a little table selling their cookies or whatever. But we were thinking like
Oh,
because it's still difficult to try to get into schools because of liability and stuff.
yeah.
I was like, what's another big children's group? And I was like, oh, Scouts is huge here in the United States. Every state has Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts. So I'm
Yep.
like, if we can link that somehow, that's bringing in a whole bunch of new kids, and maybe their parents will try it.
Oh, dude, that is a pretty dang good idea. Not
Yep.
gonna lie, I
Thanks.
think it's a pretty dang good
We're
idea.
working it, man. We're trying to do some things like that. Also, we have this idea of creating a 98 headquarters here in the Philly area,
Hmm.
which would be like an event space for arm wrestling. But when we're not using it for arm wrestling, why not bring money into the sport from outside of the sport where we would just rent it out for like Tuesday comedy night, Wednesday this band's playing, and we would be making the money off like food, alcohol, ticket sales, things like that, but not just for arm wrestling, so that we could bring some money into the sport from outside the sport, from like people that have no care about arm wrestling. And then that way we can use that money for what we want to use it for in arm wrestling to grow the sport, but we're not getting it from arm wrestlers. So we're kind
Well,
of working on something along those lines.
that is what our life is. Most people don't like their job, but they're going to
Yeah.
anyway just so that they can fund their hobbies and passions.
Yeah.
So in this
Yeah.
case, it's the same thing.
I'm like, why not do that for arm wrestling? And then essentially what we would become is just event planners, where we're planning events at this place to fund doing bigger and better events in arm wrestling,
Sure.
or being
Yeah.
able to do more like cash payouts and better awards and paying athletes to do super matches. Like, it would be funded from outside the sport. So it's not like, like some people think, if you charge too much, you're taking advantage of the community. So we can alleviate that by getting some revenue from other
To s-
sources.
to some degree, yeah. Yeah, I agree. But here's another interesting fact. Like, um, you probably don't need as much space as you do, but
Yeah.
venues are booked out sometimes up 3 years in advance.
Oh yeah.
It's
Yeah.
that difficult. I was just at a venue and they're like,
Yeah.
all the good dates are all booked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so venue, for whatever reason, it's a pretty hot, you know, a pretty hot business to get into, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And
Uh,
the busier they are too, the more people charge. Like we got the Valley Forge Casino Resort. It was expensive to get that space. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It was not
yeah.
cheap, but I don't know. Like our last Winter Blast, I don't know if you were that much into what's going on, but we teamed up with Arm Gods from the UK and Ireland.
Yeah.
And they did their super matches Friday night, and they brought in 13 UK guys against 13 Americans, and we called it the
Oh,
Independence Cup. And
I saw
and
that.
then
Yes.
we did it in Valley Forge, so it went with the Revolutionary War theme because of Valley Forge.
Yep.
Yeah.
But that was the one where they did like a cartoon, right? With like insulting a little bit like Bob Baxter and this and that. And Greg Sharp was in it and he got insulted and he said anybody that goes to Winter Blast or Arm Gods is banned from WSA, which actually made more people come because they were like, we're against bans. And they kind of like rallied behind 98 because they didn't agree with the banning. So it
Yeah.
actually didn't hurt us at all. It actually helped us.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. I think was it towards the end there was like some mention of Five Guys and Robert was part of that video.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dude, they
yeah.
made
Bob was
some
there. I think he was
crazy
shooting
videos.
and killing sheep or something,
Yeah, with his
or
leg.
helicopter or something.
Yeah.
It was a little bit.
Yeah. It was
It was
extreme.
entertaining, but it's not something I could use on EVW.
Yeah. I mean, and it was like Bob Brown loved it, but Greg Sharp felt insulted by it. So it's like it all depends on who the person is and how they take it. But
They did one of me not too long
Baxter
ago, I
didn't
think.
hate it. Yeah, I saw the one of you too.
Yeah, it's like I have to go back to China or something. Oh,
Dude, they get like they always put me in it. I'm fat to begin with, and they make me like 3 times as fat, and I'm eating
yeah,
Baxter burgers, or I'm like, oh god. But
yeah,
it's funny, like that kind of stuff gets them a lot of attention. It's not the way everybody should go, but it works for their promotion, But
yeah.
I thought that was funny, like Bob Brown, like I thought Bob was gonna be so insulted when he took his leg off and he's like, shoot, it's a gun. And I'm like, oh my god, they're making fun of his leg. And Bob thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
Bob's a good sport.
Oh, yeah.
he actually reached out to me. I don't know how involved you were yet, but Bob said he had talked to Robert Baxter and said, we should be using 98's network of all those Facebook groups to promote East versus West across every state. So he kind of started to talk to me about it, and he was like, I'm going to start sending you flyers for East versus West, and you throw them in all your groups. But then
Okay.
he had some things go down, with his practice at the house when all that went down, and
Oh,
we kind
I
of
was
we
there.
kind of stopped talking for a little bit about East versus West when he was kind of upset there for a minute. But
He's
yeah,
he's cool now. I was just at practice last weekend with him.
oh, good.
Yeah, because I think he's pulling in not. Is he pulling this week?
A couple weeks, I think, at Arm Gods
Yeah, he's got a super match at Arm Gods.
Yeah,
in Wales.
in the UK.
Yeah,
Yeah,
He had one at Winter Blast Arm Gods too,
yeah, and he won.
and he won. Yeah,
He's incredible. he's
good.
awesome.
Yeah.
That was
I was there when he
so
was doing
fun.
his final practice. He had Robert go and help practice.
Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah.
like
That's
it
awesome.
was a fun weekend having Arm Gods and then Winter Blast the next day. But I think slightly they kind of hurt each other a little bit, because if you're a guy that maybe doesn't have a whole lot of extra money to spend, and you're coming to Winter Blast, now you have to make a choice. Like, do I buy a ticket to Arm Gods for these super matches, or do I get an extra entry at Winter Blast? So I think having them all at once kind of wasn't, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but I don't
Some
think
level of
it helped
cannibalization.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Like there was a
So
little bit
what you're
of,
saying is, what about this? If we did something together, right? You ran the tournament on Friday, and on
Yeah.
Saturday it's the main event at EVW.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be, that shouldn't be too bad, I would imagine.
right.
For
No,
an
I
event
think
like
it was just because it was our first one, and Arm Gods flew in 13 people from the UK. That's not cheap. You probably know that. And then hotels, plus they covered all the Americans' hotels and travel. So it was, that was a lot of money that they put in, and to get that money back from a super match situation like that, you know what I mean? It's not always that easy. And then Winter
Yeah.
Blast was big the next day, so some people didn't go to that Friday night because they were waiting for Winter Blast the next day. And at a casino, everything's more expensive. So like the
Right.
food, the drinks, and then if
The
you're going to
rooms.
both, now you need 2 nights hotel instead of one maybe. So it made it a really expensive weekend, I think, for the average guy that, it's like a hobbyist or something.
I think
Yeah,
it's a
especially
little.
the economy isn't as great right now, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that didn't help. But we still hit 500 entries. So that was still like, all right, we're still up there. I think our next goal, the only one that's bigger in North America right now is the Ottawa Open. So like they're getting like 700 entries, and I'm like,
Wow.
Canada's
we
crazy.
gotta beat them. We gotta catch up to them.
Canada is just crazy, the amount of poolers they have up there. It's
But
awesome.
this last 6 months, every tournament has been smaller. Like Michigan State, all the big ones, Arizona State's, Michigan State's, they were all smaller this year than last year. Same with Winter Blast.
Yeah.
Winter
And we know
Blast,
the sport isn't dying. If anything, it's growing.
yeah,
But I really think it's the economy.
It is.
I
really
agree. Yeah,
affecting a lot of people, unfortunately.
yeah,
So
People may not be as willing to fly to a big tournament or drive and spend the money on the hotels because
yeah.
hotels get expensive.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think that's spot on because the sport, in my opinion, is growing.
yeah.
Yeah,
We can see by our view counts comparing to the previous years has gone up. It's just those kind of things. And
Yeah.
unfortunately, well, hopefully soon, things.
and the other thing too is like we had some guys that didn't come to Winter Blast because the week before they had super matches at practice in someone's garage. You know what I mean? And I'm like, so they skipped the tournament to do little super matches in the garage. And a lot of that is going on across the whole country. It's like the trend
Yeah,
right now.
yeah,
So how do
that's
we,
exactly
how do you
right.
compete with that?
Yeah, I was at practice, and then I came like an hour later because they usually
Yeah.
practice for like 4 hours. I get there and like, oh, Dexter, you just missed a super match. Super match. Oh, didn't just
Yeah.
practice?
Right.
Oh no, this is for the state rankings.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we just had one super match.
Yeah.
And then like, oh,
Yeah.
so
Well,
yeah,
a lot
it's
of
happening
people are
everywhere.
throwing like backyard barbecue super match event and having it actually refed so that it actually counts in like Aries and Corey Miller's thing. And I'm like, man, if you're having that 20 minutes down the road, you're probably going to go to that rather than drive to the hour, drive to a tournament. So I think we're seeing some of that a little bit. And it's not a bad thing that there's more things going on. It just means that we're growing. Like, I don't really view it as a bad thing because I think the more things that are going on, like more, it's putting more eyes on the sport because now you have more things going on, and maybe someone feels more comfortable going for their first time in Joe's garage instead of Winter Blast.
So I'm gonna say something really controversial right now, right? And I'm gonna have to think if I'm gonna have you edited it out, but probably not. But
Uh,
but but here is the whole idea behind the East versus West or EVW sports role in
Yeah.
arm wrestling is just like how you sense a little bit of frustration, right? At least that's what I got from you. Like, oh, because he was doing the backyard thing, he wouldn't come to a major event,
yeah,
right? And so there are some questions. Hey, why don't like, for instance, like my understanding for contracts for athletes, that's
yeah,
always been a contested thing. Like,
yeah,
why do you even have contracts, Dexter? Right? Why do EVW sports well, not, okay, to preface the whole thing, I didn't set up the contracts. I inherited the contract.
yeah, yeah,
Okay, but I'm actually in support of most of the contracts
yeah,
now, because now here's what it is, right? In order for something to grow big, like for mainstream, and again, I hope I don't come off to sound really arrogant and be entitled, but you kind of need a leader, right? You need a leader
yeah,
to kind of usher and lead the way and get everybody to the next level, essentially.
yeah,
And if there are a whole bunch of imagine this, everybody's just doing backyard super matches, it's
yeah,
backyard super matches, then we'll never really know who the world champion is.
Yep.
If it's only backyard super matches, correct? So we still need somebody to come in and actually organize the high level stuff. Now, then you might be saying, well, you can do it without contracts. But here's what can really mess things up a little bit, in my opinion. If we have no contracts and athletes get to pull anywhere they want, it diminishes their value. Example, right? Think of like a famous celebrity from Hollywood that you really would like to meet, or just any celebrity. Doesn't have to be arm wrestling, just anybody. Is it, I don't know, to you guys, is it Trump? I don't know. Is that Brad Pitt that you really want to meet? Now, just now, for me, it's right now it's Backstreet Boys, right? Because now they're doing it in the whole Vegas sphere thing. I'm really seeing if I can, find time to go there and
Mhm.
catch, because I grew up with Backstreet Boys, right? But now think about it. If the Backstreet Boys was my neighbor, or they attended my local church, right? And I see them every Sunday. If they have a concert, like I've seen so many, it's okay. It
yeah,
diminishes, and I won't buy
yeah,
it
yeah.
anymore, right?
Right.
So it kind of diminishes their value in some level if I see them all the time. That's why I think the contracts are crucial. And then when we do have an event, it makes sure that we have the financial viability to continue increasing production level and doing more documentary style stuff, because I'm telling you, nobody's dropping. Like, here's one of our plans, right? Is to do some sort of like a arm wrestling house, EVW sports house, where athletes come in and it's almost like a mini reality TV show. And we need all these needs money. It all
Mhm.
costs money. And if we don't make money off our events, we don't have the capability of putting up a higher level production, you know.
Yeah.
And if we don't do that, we can't go mainstream because Netflix will look at it as like, oh, it's a backyard barbecue super match. Yeah, I'm not putting on Netflix.
Right.
You
Yeah.
nuts? You see
Right.
what I'm saying? So I'm just I hope people do understand that there are certain things we do may seem like counterproductive, but it's
Yeah.
necessary. We need to make money first in order to continue. Like imagine if
Yeah.
you threw your event, Ryan, and you lost 50 grand. How many of these events can you do before you call it
Oh,
quits, right?
I'd go home right then and cry. Yeah.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And so I hope people do understand that we try our best to give back to the community
Yeah.
through getting arm wrestlers in
Yeah.
and putting good
Yeah.
shows.
I mean,
So
we're still working like paycheck to paycheck. Like we throw a tournament, and the revenue from that pays for the awards for the next one, and we just keep going. And if
Yeah.
there's anything left, we put it aside for Winter Blast.
correct,
So
correct.
Yep.
you know, and because we're still growing rapidly, we still need stuff. Like we bought a whole bunch of our own live streaming equipment, and Winter Blast. We added 2 more tables. We spent $6,500 to get all master refs from around the country to come be the refs for Winter Blast this year. So it was like, they could move it
High level
along
stuff.
faster because of how many entries we had. We didn't want it to take, 12 hours. So we brought in the best guys to help us out,
Yeah,
but it
and
all costs money and it adds up
it all
really
costs
fast.
money. It
Yeah.
all costs money, and
Yeah.
there's no way around that. I mean, you can
No.
get volunteers, but at some point, people need to get
Right. And
paid.
then it comes down to
Yeah.
where do you get that money? And then it's like,
Right.
okay, I'm trying to find sponsors, which is not easy in a sport that doesn't exist to most people yet. So it's like that's the battle: is how do you get sponsors to jump on board, and give them the value they're looking for and what you're doing. Which that's why it's another reason I created all those Facebook groups and the franchising. I don't know if you like we franchise. So someone asked me if 98 was going to franchise, and I said no, that's weird. And then a month went by, and I'm like, well, I personally don't want to throw tournaments all over the country because I just can't afford to. So I'm like, let's put it out there that we're going to franchise and just see what happens. And we got 5 franchise locations in the first like month. So now we have 8 or 9 franchise locations where there's a small fee for us to like set them up on our website and give them their own section so that they can like sell their t-shirts. And then we get a small percentage of every tournament. So as all the franchises are throwing multiple tournaments a year, we're getting a small percentage, and we put that money into a fund, and it's the 98 injury fund. So someone in the 98 networks breaks an arm, we can send them a couple $100 with like a merch package and a get well soon. Someone tears something, we have that extra money to like, let them know that we're behind them, kind of.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we're doing with that.
That's very good. Yeah, I think that's good. I love it.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
probably not the best decision with money, but I think like the community likes it when you
Mhm.
show that you really care about them individually. Like, like when someone gets injured, you see 100 comments like "Get well soon, buddy. Take care." Speedy recovery. And now we can actually do something like maybe that couple $100 covers a bill for them while they're out of work recovering, something like that.
Yeah, there was a I was in Asia, and obviously I would go to practice, just
Yeah.
find out where the local club is and everything. So I went to this practice, and these guys start late. It was like Saturday at 11 p.m. They go to like 5 a.m. It was kind of nuts, right? Anyway, I was there, and some of them recognized who I was. So they came up to me, said hi and whatnot. And then there was a guy who was just like shying away from me. And then one of the other guys who was the left hand champion, he kind of pulled me. He's like, "Hey, sorry about that. He's wearing a imitation EVW jersey.
He didn't want you to see it.
And then I'm like, oh, uh, and they said like, you know, they would buy it if they could, but it's in Asia, so it's like they have to work 2 days to buy one jersey, kind of thing, right? Because
Yeah.
of the exchange rate. So I feel for them. So anyway, I went up to him and was like, hey, you know what? Thanks for supporting it. I know it's not from us, but you know what? Just give me your address. I'll ship you some real jerseys.
Nice.
And his jersey was kind of weird. It's very obviously imitation because
Yeah.
like the fonts were all off, you know, like
Yeah.
the sponsor's jersey, the sponsor's logo were kind of fade, like blur,
Yeah.
you know, that kind of thing. So,
Yeah.
but I and I hope people. I'm not encouraging people to buy imitation goods, guys.
Yeah.
Just saying it out there. But I do feel for the 98% of the world. I think, fortunately, though, here's what I'll say: of every sport out there, and right, arm wrestling is probably the cheapest because all you need is nothing. You need hands.
Yeah.
That's it. You
Yeah.
need arm,
Yeah. But the
right?
arm wrestlers act like this is the most expensive sport in the world. Like, you know, you go to jujitsu and it's like those guys are spending hundreds of dollars to compete in uniforms and monthly fees for practice. And they come to arm wrestling, they're like, man, your entry fee's $35 per arm. And it's like, that's cheap right now for an entry fee. Like, what are you talking about?
Oh
It's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah. So I'd say that's one good thing going for arm wrestling.
Yeah.
It's that it's very cost effective.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
A cheap
I don't even
sport
need a
to
table
get into.
now. I don't even need a table. I'll just put my hand on your shoulder and let's go.
A
Right?
lot of guys will
Even,
build their own tables too.
yeah.
I've seen a
Even
lot.
Yeah.
kids we let pull for free. So it's like they
Yep.
don't even have to pay anything.
Kids pull
It's
for
a free
free.
sport for children, you know?
I was in Asia and I was like, hey, this table feels weird. It's like, oh yeah, it's shorter. Oh, and it was just because it's hand built, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. I think the one thing really good that arm wrestlers have is, number one, it's cheap, and the
Yeah.
second thing, it's the longevity is super long,
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah,
super long.
where can you be like you can arm wrestle as a child and you can also be really good when you're 80. Like we got 80-year-old guys on our team that are still competing
Yeah.
and they're
Right.
beating the younger guys. And I'm like, man, this is crazy.
I arm
Yeah.
wrestled a guy, a part of 98. His name is David Shell. Not sure if you know of him,
Yeah.
but he is, I believe, 74.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he's
And he
74.
still
And he
competes.
started when he was 66.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he competes. He enters tournaments.
He was a college professor and he's part of our 98 crew. Like
Yep.
he does brackets, he helps with all kinds of things.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
sport for everyone of all ages and all
Yeah.
demographics, you know.
And you would
Yeah,
think
it's
that's
awesome.
what like that's the one thing that's helping us now. Like now with 98 anyway, to find sponsors, now I can say we have one of the biggest tournaments in the country. Now we're a national brand now. Like that's starting to help us to get little bit bigger sponsors than we usually get, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's super helpful.
Yeah. Over time, you grow it. You
Yeah.
focus on the 98, and hopefully, we do a good job representing the 2.
Of
And
course.
Yeah, you guys don't matter.
by
No,
number
but
count, yeah, you guys beat us. But
everybody has adopted our concept because like Devin will be talking to me like, oh, he's a 2%er or that guy's the 98%. Like everyone's using it as like it's a normal term in the sport now, which is kind of cool to hear.
yeah,
Devin loves our concept. He's always like, man, how did you guys come up with that?
I know because when he came, I don't know how many months back, a couple of months back, and he just loves arm wrestling. He was
Yeah.
at practice for 3 hours straight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
3 hours straight. He probably took a couple of breaks by just gulping down a couple of bottles of water, but that was it.
Yeah.
He was just right hand, left hand, right hand, left hand.
Oh, it's crazy.
So this,
And then
if
he'll go compete. Like he did it in Virginia where
Yeah.
he was pulling at the side table and then jumped in the tournament. I was like, oh
He
my god, dude,
pulled
he's been armor and he did it the night before too.
Yeah. he
Like,
pulled for like
this
8
guy.
hours that day.
Yeah.
And we were there the entire time, and he pulled for like
All day.
3-4 hours the night before. But
He's in
yeah.
heaven when he's pulling.
Oh,
yeah.
he loved it. He
Yeah.
loved it.
He's
Yeah.
in heaven, yeah. He loves Armor. So yeah, so that's why I could see why he really loves the 98. And most
Yeah.
of the 98 also loves him.
Oh yeah. Would you be able to give us your YouTube channel actually too? Because I know you spoke about that earlier. Just for people to check it out and subscribe.
Oh, it's actually on my name, Dextertan BK.
Oh, that's okay. Awesome.
Okay, cool.
So that's actually my full name is Dextertan
Mhm.
Boone King.
Oh,
That's your
okay.
full name.
That's my full name.
That's
so
awesome.
BK is like the acronym of my
Yeah.
kind of part of my name.
Well, make sure everyone goes over there and clicks that subscribe button.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
love it.
Lots of content, I'm
Definitely.
sure.
Well, it's kind of new.
Yeah.
I just barely started like maybe a month and a half ago, really. If that, the whole idea was when I realized that there are certain things like the whole drama and whatnot. We want to stay professional and positive on the main
course.
channel, and
Yeah.
we didn't want future Netflix, guys, executives to be when they are reviewing our stuff to be
Yeah.
stumbling into like who's this. Matter of fact, there was the exact pronunciation was like who's this engine guy. It's like, oh, Ingen.
Why
Oh
is it
yeah,
so
you know,
angry?
you know, something like that, right? So I didn't want any of the oof, gonna get me in trouble for
I'll
that.
edit that out.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I didn't want any of that kind of drama
Yeah.
Yeah.
to be made aware by the Netflix. So I want to keep it positive. Whereas if it's on my channel, and frankly speaking, we met with one of a marketing guru. This is like early in the year, and he says, guys, you need to have a podcast yourself, and
Yeah.
then you can cut it up to many clips, small clips, and then put it on your, reels and whatnot. I just never really did it, but this time I kind of forced myself to do it,
Yeah.
and it won't be all necessarily arm wrestling.
Yeah.
It could also be other stuff that I'm doing, right?
Yeah.
I bought over out for fun. I bought a convention, a anime convention. You know what anime is?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's Japanese animation
Yeah.
convention. So that one's pretty big, and just because I have the team to put it together, right?
Yeah.
So
That's cool to just buy a convention. Like that's pretty neat.
yeah, because there's a little bit of some fun stuff. You're gonna
Yeah.
do some fun stuff here and
Right.
there.
Right.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so I could be doing some podcasts with some
Yeah.
celebrity. One of our guests, he was the original singer of the Pokemon song.
Oh, that's awesome.
Dude, that's great.
Something like that, Jason Page.
Yeah.
But
That's
yeah,
fun.
so it'll be mostly arm wrestling at the beginning.
Yeah.
But eventually it will, or maybe once in a while I'll throw in some of my other guests, like,
Yeah.
yeah. But
Well,
yeah,
the reason we started this whole podcast, which is called Center Table, is to learn about people, like you said, maybe put some non-arm wrestling stuff to learn about guys, and
Yeah.
it's super important that we get to know these people outside of this guy's a top roller or this guy is a
Yeah.
hook puller. Like that, some of these guys, that's the only thing I know about them.
Yeah. Because every interview is exactly the same. Like, how long you been arm wrestling? What got you into it? Like
Yeah,
I
so
like
Yeah.
to hear like when they start telling stories about their past that have nothing to do with arm wrestling. Like that's the stuff I want to hear. Like
yeah, I can relate
know,
to a guy that
yeah.
maybe went through something similar that I did or has a similar background, and if not, it's still interesting to learn about people and where they come from and their experiences in life. So what you guys are doing is important, and it's goes hand in hand with kind of what we started here. We're just doing it with some of the athletes that are maybe not
Yeah.
quite at that East versus West level, or some of them, we would like to get them on here to talk to them.
I say keep doing what you're doing. It's
Yeah.
because at
Thanks.
some point when we grow, even like East versus West, we are gonna have people who retire, and we're gonna have more matches. And the way we have more matches is through the UFC style that I explained in the past.
Yeah.
And we need people to feed the new talents, and we need to be able to identify, like, hey, that guy seems pretty good. He just won the Winter Blast.
Yeah.
That guy's pretty good. He went to wherever, right?
Yeah.
So it's almost like a feeder kind of system where we can spot them
that's
out
exactly what we're trying to
and build them. So the 98 some of the 98 may one day become the 2.
That's
absolutely.
the plan. That's the plan.
Some already have, like like Brandon Elsesser. Our very first tournament, we had him come pull, and we set up a 3-way match between him and Mike Aiello and Paul Passmore, and they had their match and stuff. And then all these other promotions started coming after Elsesser, and it kind of like gave him a little kickstart into like a little more light shined on him. And I was like, that's what we should be doing, like that, for more people.
Yeah.
And just, create a path for these guys to get to East versus West, or to get to these bigger promotions.
Yeah. And I think that's how we can work together and grow things.
I agree. Right? I don't know why more promotions don't work together. Like, it's almost like we're so small that everyone views each other as like a threat or like the enemy. And it doesn't need to be that way, because like what we're doing doesn't affect you at all. We don't come after your guys, or like we're not catering to the 2%. So like we're not your competition. So there's no reason for us to hate each other. And every promotion is slightly different in what they do in their angle. So I feel like there's room for everyone. There's no reason, like, we should be all promoting each other and grow the sport as a whole. That's why I kind of went with the franchise thing, because I was like, if we're going to have other promoters not be friendly with us, let's just get those promoters to come under the 98 banner or umbrella and join forces with us. So that's kind of what we did.
Yeah.
Working so far. It's pretty good. We have like monthly meetings, and we're inviting like guest speakers, like someone like a guest speaker that maybe is an expert at getting sponsors and can talk to us about how to get sponsors and like new ways to approach that. And then like a guest speaker that throws events and the best way to plan events and new ideas and thinking outside of the box. Like a lot of our events now are not just an arm wrestling tournament, because we're inviting like vendors and the local fire department to have a fire truck out front for the kids, and like the police boxing league to do a little like match with their guys. And we're trying to get the community to see arm wrestling and accept it as a normal sport. And the way to do that, we're doing like, it's a community event that has arm wrestling at it instead of an arm wrestling tournament alone. We're trying to involve the community and do bigger things like that. And so far it's working. And I'm like, if we can do that across the whole franchise, now we're really making a difference in the sport. Instead of just our little group here, we're spreading it out a little bit bigger and having more of an impact on, the sport as a whole.
I like it.
I know it's probably weird, but
no. I think it's good to always involve the community, especially, you'll gain a lot of goodwill too,
Yeah,
for sure.
Because the only way to get it to
fireman
grow,
versus a SWAT team, arm wrestling.
We talked about that, actually getting firefighter versus police arm wrestling or something.
Well, our guy Dave is doing one down in North Carolina, and the police chief said the only way he's going to come to the event is if he's forcing his guys to do super matches against the firefighters. So we're going to have some super matches with those two departments against each other in the parking lot of this event. So, I mean, our guy down there got like a petting zoo to come out, and the SPCA is bringing like some dogs for adoption, like all kinds of things in the community coming to this thing that we're planning down there. And that's going to be like one of the first big ones that we throw where we really involve like all aspects of the community. And if it works, we're going to copy that model and start doing it across the whole franchise to just get more eyes on arm wrestling in the community.
That is legit. That is legit. I'm already starting. Unfortunately, I don't have the time for it. But just imagine this, right? You go to the city, and you just tell the chief, the firefighters, and the policemen is like, all right, you send your champion, and if your champion wins, the whole department gets a pizza day or something.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, like you could do some fun stuff
and
like
then
that.
and that I think will go viral.
Yeah.
I think that you can get those like viral videos.
Yep.
Like whoever wins will pay for them to go get a tattoo. Like something like that, something like out of the
Get a
normal.
98 tattoo.
Yeah, 90, a 98 tattoo.
Yeah, just like that.
Ooh, wow.
I'm committed to the brand now. You know what I mean? This has to work now. This is permanent.
Mine doesn't say 2 right here.
You need an East versus West tattoo.
I'm just kidding. No. I'm just kidding.
Well, hey, you guys got the strongest arm coming up in Colorado. I know we'll be buying that, watching that, anticipating some pretty big heavy hitters showing up for this one. The strongman community and powerlifting community is really starting to show interest. So I'm super excited for that event, and we will absolutely be buying them because we've been buying them for years now.
Yeah.
And thank you for that. I mean, there is a lot of truth, and well, actually quite a number of fans actually hit it spot on. Obviously we had some production mishaps in Chicago, worst that we ever had. So it kind of took a step back. And like, if people know how we organize these kind of things, we are not the guy who's pushing the buttons. I'm not the guy pushing the buttons. I hired a guy to push the buttons, and if his buttons don't work, that's technically my fault. But but ultimately, right, the fans that were very supportive, they said that we know it's not desired, but they support us. They support East versus West, because they know that if something goes wrong, right, if the East leaves and the West breaks up with the East, all sorts of the whole drama, it sets all of us back a couple of years to rebuild it again.
Yeah.
So the some supportive fans is like, regardless of what happens, I'm going to support you and buy your next pay-per-view over and over again. So I'm very thankful. Even our sponsors, right? And one of our main sponsor, who's been with us for a while, Gold Star Coffee. After was it I think Georgia? Was it after Georgia? No, or Istanbul? There was how we'll play his jingle. So he's a fan of he's a kind of a passionate musician as well. So he came up with the whole jingle for his commercial. Cool. And then from what I understood, was the commercial was muted. Right? It was muted. I was like, oh my goodness, he's gonna be livid. He's gonna be absolutely livid that his jingle's gone. Because the prior event in Istanbul, I sent him a screenshot, and the screenshot said that, now the highlight of East versus West pay-per-view event is listening to Gold Star's coffee jingle, right? And now it's muted.
Was it an accident?
No, sorry.
Was the muting an accident?
I don't fully know, because I was dealing with another matter. Right. But I was just, again, I don't know all the nuances of exactly all the small things, because I'm not. I understand the tech component, right? How I told Robert Baxter is like, look, when you talk to me about cars, example, I know what horsepower means. But you can't expect me to go behind there and find out exactly what the valve timing is, or what size of cog wheel or whatever. I don't know all those. But when you tell me horsepower, okay, I understand horsepower. So I understand the general terminology, but I'm not the guy who's plugging every single cable out there. So anyway, when that happened, I was like, okay, I'm gonna be in a little bit trouble with this sponsor, and he's been so good to me But after the event, he was like, "Dude, I understand it happens, but don't worry, you still have my support." I was like, "Oh,
Yeah. He's like,
thank
don't let
goodness."
it happen again, though.
He was super
Yeah,
nice.
that's
He
awesome.
he knew I was under a lot of pressure to
Yeah,
deal with
yeah,
all the crap, but so like
yeah,
I'm just thankful that there are super solid supporters like that that
yeah.
could overlook small things. Well, not small things, but to him,
What,
he felt like the bigger picture was to support the sport.
dude? And honestly, when I see something happen at East versus West,
Hmm.
it makes me feel like, oh man, it can happen to them. So it doesn't. It makes me not feel so bad about when it happens to us because I'm like, they're human too. You
Oh,
know?
back up for a second. Back up for a second. All right, back up for a second. Let's look at the largest pay-per-view event this year. Well, technically, it's kind of like a pay-per-view. Was it Jake Paul and Mike Tyson?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
They had a blackout.
They had a
Yep.
blackout. Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably not an hour long,
No.
but they
Yeah.
had a streaming blackout.
Yeah. And everybody
Right?
was like, what's going on? What happened?
It's the largest
Yeah.
event with like I don't know how many tens of million, 100 million, I don't know, but it was nuts.
Yeah.
And they also were not immune to production issues.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I'm not making excuses on why we're out, but it's very complicated to have live
Yeah.
stream events.
But
Very
then I
complicated.
bet you seeing it happen at that level made you feel better about it happening to you. And then we feel better about our mistakes when we see yours and we're like, hey, everyone's human, like mistakes happen. It's not, it's not the end of the world.
And,
It's just
the
very
worst
stressful.
the worst part is because they are external team,
Yeah.
right? And so when something happens, it's not like I can jump in and like, guys, let me figure it out with you guys.
Right.
So it's one of the I have to sit on the sidelines, like, just give me an update.
And then how do you deal with it after? Like, are they in trouble? Like, is there, like, that's what I always wonder. Like, someone messed that up. Is that guy in trouble? Like something happened.
Oh,
Where,
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So to give you an idea, right? Everybody's asking us to go back to Arlington, but that Arlington sound guy who screwed up the whole mic situation, because even leading up to Matt Mass's match,
Yeah.
he was screwing up the whole audio for a really long time. And I don't know if you guys saw my behind the scenes video where there was a section that I really got mad because I told him, all right, hey guys, I think Robert Baxter is getting on stage. Turn on his microphone so we can test it. And over the comms, over every production guy heard him respond to me. I'll turn it on when I turn it on.
Oh, I'd be pissed. Yeah.
Okay, I was like, okay, never mind. I'm just the guy who can recommend stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so I recommended that he turns it on because when prior to, like the 60 seconds before Robert gets on, it's like, hey, can you just turn it on so we can tap it to see if it works? Lo and behold, I think was it Robert or was it Drew? They went up there and mic doesn't work, and it was like, can we just exchange microphones here? I'm like,
I told you so.
I lost it.
Yeah.
I lost it. Like
I bet.
I lost it. I just lost it because I'm like, it's just one of
It's
those.
just
Okay,
easy
guess what?
fix.
When we go back to Arlington, I'll specifically call him out and like he's not working on the team again.
Yeah.
Everybody else is fine. I mean, the production you saw, it was amazing.
Yeah.
But that stupid microphone guy, that audio guy, he's never coming back.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
same thing, right? If it's one thing to like, okay, he made a mistake, he's not going to repeat it again, fine, right?
Right.
But it's one where number one, he failed to recognize authority,
Yeah.
and two, he was wrong about it too.
Right.
And so
Yeah.
it's something where I can work with toxic people like that. I need
Yeah,
team
yeah.
players. I need people who are like, if he instead of saying no, he could say like, don't worry, Dexter, trust me, I think I can make it work. Or say it in a nicer way. And
Yeah.
let's discuss that. Don't
Right,
over
right.
the top tell everybody and then you fail. Right. So
Yeah,
so
right,
yes.
right.
So to answer your question, yeah, I do pay attention on who I don't want to work with again.
Yeah.
Or I have to make adjustments.
Right.
So we have to, and this is a challenge, right? This is the challenge. Instead of having, imagine if we always have it in the same location in Utah, where I'm from,
Yeah.
then it's easy because it's always the same team who understands everything. But that's one thing I think I think most actually understands that we're doing our best
Yeah.
every time we travel to new cities, new
Yeah.
countries. Like honestly speaking, like if we were to have like our Swiss team. So today we had a meeting to about a potential site that we're hosting in Switzerland.
Yeah.
Like, who's our production AV team? We don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know
Yeah.
yet. So I have to vet them, and there's only so much you can vet until, because even I vet them, they may not know anything about arm wrestling.
Yeah.
So we had that production meeting with Brian Shaw, contractor that he hired,
Yeah.
and they have never done an arm wrestling event before. So we have to educate them
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
many cameras we need, what are the
Yeah.
angles, and
Angles.
finally we said, like, you know what? Let's just slot some. Let's slot. We have one guy, Aaron, Aaron, and he's the gimbal guy. He's the
Yeah. Yeah.
gimbal guy who carries in most of our events, the past 4 events.
Yeah.
So he's coming in to help train those guys on
Nice.
exactly what happens, and and then we have Adam Silver, if you
Yeah.
know who that guy is.
Yep.
Mhm.
So he's going to be sitting in the production room
Yeah.
with the director, like the AV director and all the switchboard guys, and he's just going to explain to them, oh, that's a warning, that's a foul, so they
Yeah.
know which button to press.
Nice.
So we have to do a little bit of like that in
Yeah.
but honestly,
It's
I
it's almost an impossible task because when you move around like that, it's hard to have a steady team. You know?
unless, here's the thing though, right? You see, like, the UFC doesn't do this. The UFC have their own in-house team
Yeah.
because
That
they have
they
events
that travels with
every
them.
week. They
Yeah.
have events every week, and they can keep them busy. But
Right.
I can't hire a whole bunch of camera guys and
Yeah.
switchers to sit around for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It just,
Right.
so we have to outsource that.
Mhm.
And I think this I'm from my conversation and dealings with this, the Shaw Classic team. They
Yeah.
also they manage all the Arnold Classics as well.
Right.
So they are really professional, and they're
Yeah.
good. And the guy's really pleasant to work with. It's just really important to me.
Yeah.
I don't really like to work with obnoxious people because it
Yeah.
makes
Yeah.
it really difficult to communicate. Anyway, this guy looks pretty good. He's very open to
Good.
suggestions, and when we say it's like, this is how we do it, it's like, great, we'll do it that way. He
Yeah.
doesn't really fight back too much, so I love
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
So I think we're gonna have a pretty good production in at the Shaw Classic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's good.
So yeah.
Yeah. Make sure you buy the pay-per-view, strongestarmonearth.com, and
Yeah.
can we buy it at
EVW
East versus
Sports.
West, evwsports.com also?
Yeah.
Do you have
Awesome.
anything
You
else
go to the
coming
same
up?
link. Sorry?
Anything else coming up? Even non-arm wrestling that you want to throw out there?
My life is surrounded with arm wrestling right now. So
Yeah. I bet.
All arms.
every weekend, there is some, like you said, some super match that I'm just watching.
Yeah.
It's to either support my buddies,
Yeah.
some local guys who travel. Last weekend they had one in, I think, was it Arizona, right? Things like this. So
Yeah.
I'm just
Well, I'm gonna send you a job offer when we get off this, and there's no pay, but it's fun. You know?
Okay, I don't know if this is revealing too much, but Robert and I have not taken a single dime out of the company
Yeah,
for salary.
our main little group, everything goes back in. Everything.
Yeah, and it's not like everybody's thinking like we are flush with cash, and even
Yeah.
when Robert took over, every athlete was like, "Hey, can we get a raise or something?" It's like, "Wait, what?
Oh,
No."
Yeah.
no, you're gonna decrease.
Everyone
both of
gets $1
them.
million.
Yeah, no.
You're not
Yeah.
flush, especially economy
Right.
is not that great either.
Yeah.
Well, and you can't just throw money at it nilly-willy. Like, people think like, oh, Robert Baxter's rich, he's gonna change this. Like, he's not gonna just take his own personal money and go boom and not get a return. Like, that's just not good business, you know?
Yeah, I would say that is very, very true. But at the same time, people need to know that Robert didn't buy this company to make a quick buck.
Right.
Obviously, financially viable is great,
Yeah.
but really,
He loves arm
is
wrestling.
7-time WAF world champion.
Yeah. People forget that, I think.
He has been doing it
They
for
do.
decades.
Yep.
Yeah.
His first mentor was John Berzing himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
The goat.
So like, I
Yeah.
mean, he might be a really soft-spoken guy,
Yeah.
but he's no joke on the table.
Yeah.
He's no
Yeah.
joke on the table.
I had a good conversation with him at COT 13. Like, you know, being 98%, like we don't know who's heard of us or like what, like if you guys at the top even know who we are and stuff like that. So when I went up to him and I'm talking to him, he's like, "Yeah, I know who you are. You're 98%." And I was like, "Oh man, that's awesome." You know what I mean? Like it was so cool to hear like that certain people have heard of us at least.
Yeah.
I think go just keep doing what you're doing. As the
Yeah.
sport grow, you guys will grow as well.
Yeah.
So because you
We
represent a
appreciate it.
yeah.
And you definitely, we support every promotion. Like we have promotions that don't like us and we still promote them. Like we have a list of everybody we promote and we just promote everybody just to, because it's not about the promoters, it's about the pullers. So we feel like if we didn't put their event on our list, we're doing a disjustice to the pullers because they're going to these things to get ranked, to get points for Aries, so we just promote everybody even if they don't like us.
Oh, that's
Probably not
pretty.
the smartest business decision, but we don't look at it that way because like we're just trying to promote the sport because it's not going to grow if we're all fighting all the time.
All right,
You know?
you got to be honest. You're not doing this because you're looking to make a quick buck either.
No, there's
You're doing
no.
this because
Yeah,
you are genuinely
it's fun.
passionate, right? Like
Yeah.
literally, I would have made a lot more money working at McDonald's than working on East versus West for the past
Yeah, I
9
do it
months.
100%.
You know what I'm
100%.
saying?
Yeah,
So and people need to recognize that sacrifice that you guys have done as well, right? That it takes effort and time away from family
oh yeah,
and your potentially day job, and to do all these. So kudos to everybody who's volunteering and doing everything to grow the sport, I would
yeah,
say.
yeah. And
Absolutely.
kudos to you for coming on here and taking a chance with us. Coming, and
I know
talking
what I was
with
getting into, so it was fine.
us. Did you get any warnings like don't go with them? Don't go.
No, that's the small slight advantage is
Yeah,
that as long as it's not on the main official channel, I'm a little
yeah,
bit more free to do things.
yeah,
But and partially is I think it's also good to uh get more content out there and
of
create
course.
some level of awareness of to potentially I've shed some insights on how we operate internally,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
So
which actually helps us because we're learning. Like we don't have anybody to learn from, in promoting arm wrestling events. Like, so it's cool to talk to someone that's like involved in the biggest promotion.
well, I wouldn't say
You
the
know,
biggest promotion, like
well, I mean,
maybe just in arm wrestling,
for arm
but
wrestling, you guys are
nowhere
you're the top.
nowhere close to like WWE or
No,
UFC level. But
no, but in arm
Not an arm
wrestling, you
wrestling.
guys are the top to us. So even being able to talk to you now, like to me, is like a huge honor to like have someone
oh,
from where you
honest
guys
mine.
are on our podcast. It's crazy. So we really appreciate it.
Hey, no. Enjoy this anytime. Anytime you guys have a question, if you guys need me to hop on, you know, as a 5 minute guest when hey,
Yeah.
can Dexter come in and just clarify something? Shoot me a message. If I'm available, I'll
Phone a
do it.
friend.
Well, like I'll send the link to our Friday night one to Devin sometimes, and he hops on sometimes and surprises us.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if we're ever on, I'll shoot you the link, and if you can't come on, it's not a big deal. But if you can, just pop on and be like, hey guys, and we
Yeah.
usually have like a bunch of people on. So
Great. Yeah.
yeah,
I'll see. If I'm free, I'm free.
yeah.
It's kind of
Yeah.
like casual.
We just randomly send it out, and we're not offended if you don't come on. So,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna end the recording, and see if we got to edit anything out. But thanks
I
again.
don't think there's not very much that
Yeah.
it's kind of off topics or taboo stuff, but
Yeah.
maybe all cutting out all my ums and ahs.
I always rewatch and I'm like, oh my god, I'm
There'll be no
terrible.
podcast. We'll have to edit all of our stuff too.